It's 11 o'clock. Time for another episode of Comedians Writing Jokes at Starbucks. I'm your host, Rob Cioffi. Usually, almost always, well, not really, but most of the time you'll see Bob Nelson, famous comedian Bob Nelson. I just spit. I just spit everywhere. You know what I watched last night? I watched the great movie Batman Returns. You ever see that? With Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. You know what the best aspect of that? He's got two great little things, acting things he does, right? One is...
Say by the Twitch.
Okay, we're back on.
JJay was talking about horrible movies he was watching.
I saw Tim was in a movie where he was choking. It was like gagging, wasn't it?
Okay, we're back on.
JJay was talking about horrible movies he was watching.
I saw Tim was in a movie where he was choking. It was like gagging, wasn't it?
Nah.
Something like that. Well, we're back again. I was saying I'm Rob Cioffi. This is Comedians Writing Jokes at Starbucks. I'm here today, sans the great Bob Nelson.
We miss you, Bob.
Who's on tour. He's in Florida this week. And we have lots to do and lots to talk to you about. What is that loud music? Is that us?
No.
That's somebody else. Extraordinarily loud here at Starbucks. And if we lose you just right now, we're gonna restart. We're gonna reload the page because it's acting weird.
How come we don't have
one Native American?
Ladies and gentlemen, time once again for Comedians Writing Jokes at Starbucks.
We put on some loud music.
I am Rob Cioffi. And today, I am very happy to have as our guest, one of our guests, the very, very famous Derek Humphry, who wrote the book Final Exit and started the Hemlock Society, an organization that helps people end their lives. They can end their lives with doctor-assisted suicide. Was that doctor's name?
Kevorkian.
Yeah, it's him. That guy. Kevorkian. He used to be the punchline of a lot of jokes.
Yeah, that's what
Used to be the punchline of a lot of jokes.
Wasn't Kevorkian originally a gynecologist?
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Like this will be the death of me.
Hey, I'd rather die. He finally snapped and said, I'd rather die than do this one more day. And there you go.
There you go.
See?
Normally, since we're going to be restarting and stopping this thing quite a bit today because of the internet connection that we have, I just want to point out that normally we have Mr. Bob Nelson on the show. He's not here today. He is on tour. He'll be in the sunny state of Florida starting tomorrow. So I imagine that's why he's not here. Great guy, Bob Nelson. Well, let's all thank Bob Nelson again. Thank you, Bob Nelson, for being Bob Nelson and
I don't think it's real.
helping us out.
You never see Santa Claus and him in the same place.
That's probably true.
Niall's wife on Frasier. This is what he was talking about. I've never seen.
So anyway, this Derek Humphries, he lives up in Connecticut. Oh, no, he's in England. That's right. He's in England. He's taking the Concorde over.
Old
He should be over soon.
Concord?
He took the Concorde over, yeah.
No.
So he'll be here soon.
Dirigible.
He's 84.
From New Prussia.
He's 84 years old. He probably wrote on a dirigible. He probably did in his lifetime because he's been around forever. Ironically, the guy's 84 years old. He helps people cut their lives significantly shorter. So we're going to talk while we're killing time here, waiting for him. We've got a whole bunch of subjects. Since we're comedians and we want to talk about everything but comedy, I've decided to focus us today.
We don't have focus.
Because a lot is happening in comedy in the news. A lot. So many things that I have a list.
Squirrel.
The world's most famous comedian, the world's most successful stand-up comedian,
Thank you.
has got to be Mr. Jerry Seinfeld, I would imagine, right? Everybody would kind of agree there. If we did it by net worth, I think he'd win.
Just by Porsche weight.
Yep.
Just by the number of Porsches that he owns.
And people who impersonate him.
And the fact that he's made such a significant mark on our profession.
Yeah.
The world of
Or
entertainment.
our hobby, like in my case.
How many of his lines became vernacular?
Oh yeah.
There's a nice big word.
He's a household word. He's a household word. He's like the I Love Lucy of our generation. He's a Lucille Ball.
Isn't Lucy the Lucy of your generation?
Not quite. But thank you.
You were right there. You. I mean, literally, that was this almost as close to being brilliant. That close.
So Mr. Seinfeld appeared on NBC News last week, and it was interviewed by definitely on NBC, definitely NBC, and announced. Not so much announced, but I don't know how it came up. I didn't watch the interview. Apparently, Mr. Seinfeld believes that he has a form of autism, or at least feels he's on the autism spectrum.
I think it's known as successful comedianitis.
Yes, maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe is it like when you go to Home Depot and you get the paint thing?
Yes.
And it tells you, you can get this color shade, this shade, this shade, this shade. He's in one of those shades of autism. And
wait, are you trying to say a lot of successful comedians might be on this?
Talking to the microphone.
Talking to the
microphone. A lot of successful comedians might have autism.
You might be on this spectrum. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that somehow, in order to get rich and famous, I think I'm going to have to contract sickle cell anemia now.
Well, for one thing, did you know if you have sickle cell anemia,
you're black.
You can't get malaria. You cannot get malaria. That's the positive. That's why it even evolved, because it helped people stop getting malaria. Back to Seinfeld for a second.
Yeah. Who are these people?
Seinfeld has autism, and that you make a good point.
Well,
he's self-diagnosed. He's self-diagnosed. You think with all the money he has, he would go to a doctor and ask.
Yeah.
Why? It's not hindering him. It's not. It's not like.
He says it is. He says it makes him very awkward in social situations.
Oh no! Look at him.
No. That's called upbringing.
Yeah.
That's called living on Long Island.
That's like growing up in Massapequa.
I self-diagnosed.
Do you know what his father was? What his father did for a living?
A fiddler.
No.
Made signs. No kidding. No kidding. No, really. Seinfeld.
Man, that's
Seinfeld. That would mess you up a little bit.
That's
so anyway,
that's like Wetzel's Pretzels.
it's like a space-time continuum.
That brings up an interesting point, though.
No, it doesn't.
If he goes,
many of the most creative and successful, maybe not successful monetarily, but certainly successful creatively, comedians that I've ever met seem to have a bit of at least at the very least odd personalities.
Examples now.
No, what are you kidding me? Look at us. The four of us are totally sane.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think people actually point Seinfeld out as someone who is more balanced than normal. Generally, the people that I know have talked to him and met him and knew him seem that he's businesslike and not
That's an incredible
crazy.
That's either an incredible accolade to him or a total demeaning of the rest of the world.
I did read a New York Times article once where he was interviewed, and the interviewer made a point to say, between the lines, "This is the most arrogant guy I've ever met in my life. Who looks down at everybody." Which
I know someone who's probably more so, but we've talked about him a couple
Probably
of years
because
ago.
he's taller.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. Oh.
So anyway, he has the autism, and I don't know, is he going to come out and support autism as a cause? Is he helping charities? Is that the motive now? Is he obligated to do that?
Horses.
Because wouldn't it be funny if the fact that you were famous and successful and had an illness like that would make you responsible to raise money or help that cause?
What
if you're a psychopath? Is there a cause for psychopath?
What if they come out and say that he can't drive anymore? Now he has all these amazing cars because he's autistic. He can't drive them.
I don't think
Wait,
he.
you're saying they shouldn't drive? Is that what JJay Boyd thinks?
I think people with knit hats and beards shouldn't drive, but I don't know how you got here.
I could take my hat off.
Oh.
I could remove my beard.
This is kind of like
That's interesting to think if he couldn't drive, but I think you can drive if you have autism.
Yeah, he
This
did
kind
flip his car.
of this is kind of like a parallel storyline to when a Family Guy, when Peter Griffin was diagnosed as being mentally
Are
challenged.
we
yeah.
really
Especially-
going to talk about TV shows?
Oh, no, I'm saying
plot
it's
lines from comedy
Really,
shows?
it's a parallel. Like
Talking
the
about
same-
Seinfeld.
We're supposed to be writing things. Well, no, we're talking about Seinfeld in the news. We're not rehashing
Well, what I'm saying
episodes.
is
It's not a repeat of
No,
Family
what
Guy
I'm saying
here.
is that it's oddly familiar to a storyline of a show. Like that, it's like life
That
imitating
reminds
art.
me of the time when Peter.
It's like dressing up as a character from a '70s movie for Halloween or
You,
something.
you have at least two people here with
Blockbuster
attention
movie.
deficit disorder. We're not going to be able to focus on anything.
I think
today.
I definitely have attention. I think it
What?
was brought on by the
You know what's messed up? You didn't mention
brain
birthday
injury.
boy.
Not yet.
You know, you spoiled us about.
We have the girl coming out with the cake. Oh,
I stopped listening.
no,
after
there's no
coming
cake
out.
for you, Danny. I'm sorry. No cake. No cake for you. That's okay. You can live without that, right?
Yeah. I generally don't
Look
eat.
how sad he is. Oh, I didn't tell you what happened at the doctor yesterday.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
what?
actually why I'm glad you're here. It's a coincidence. As you may or may not know, I have diabetes type 2.
Okay.
And yesterday I found out that I have some very severe kidney problems.
Oh, wow.
And I'm probably going to need a kidney transplant.
Whoa.
And I was wondering if, Dan, you would consider.
Dude,
You're the most sober
Because
person he knows.
do you have 2 kidneys, Dan?
I do.
Well, there you go. I knew I could count on you.
All right, get the knives.
Seriously? If
I
you,
knew I could totally count on
if you need a
Dan.
kidney and I'm a match, I will donate my kidney.
See? You see what I mean about this guy? This guy! This guy! No, I don't have kidney problems. I don't have kidney problems.
Well, to be honest with you,
I have
if-
I have serious heart problems where I'm probably going to need a heart transplant. Can I have your heart? Come on,
You got a
Dan.
big one. Give him just a
Come
part
on,
of it.
Dan. Come on.
Give him a valve.
It's so big.
Just a little valve. Just one in the back. They'll never see it. It's one that faces
take a piece of
Switzerland.
mine and clone it, just enough.
There
so
you
that
go.
I'm able to.
Well, we could do one of those things.
Oh yeah.
We could take a piece of my heart. Isn't that?
Oh my.
I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? I don't know.
Now, actually, if he needs a kidney, he's on my short list first.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, this is a friend.
Yeah. So we have the elderly men speaking a foreign language, discussing the problems of the world right next to us. You may hear
I think
them.
they're the elder ISIS members.
They're not nice. We don't know what they are. Come on. What are we looking? What do you look like? Who are you, Artie Lang?
They
Well,
look- No, I'm
relax.
just saying. They
Relax.
actually look Italian. Maybe they're Italian ISIS. Hey.
Oh.
So
Come on,
Simon,
Every
Every time, huh?
Yeah,
so
why not?
Seinfeld. Did you do it on stage?
No,
No.
I did it here.
I don't
It's my
believe you.
calling card.
I don't believe you. So Seinfeld's sick. Whatever. Who cares?
I'm more concerned that you're sick. You're my friend. He's not.
I'm
He's doing
okay.
it for parking.
I'm
You know,
okay.
Everyone knows it.
Technically, I qualify for it. I should really get. They write you a prescription, and then you go and you do.
Nothing better than a guy in a Land Rover taking a handicap bug and there's nothing.
Like
Drinking
this morning.
drinking a big gulp as he's
Yeah.
walking
Yeah.
into the Walmart.
Skipping.
I need one of these rascals now. My knees are swelling.
Hey. Hey, welcome to AARP Club. You're getting there, JJ. You're almost
remember the
there.
rule of AARP Club. What happens in AARP Club? Nobody remembers.
Nobody remembers. That's a good one. You just
what
write
I
that.
just wrote that on
Oh
top of
no! Can I have that? That's so good.
It's yours, man.
Hey.
It's your show.
AARP
This
Club.
is how magic
What happens in AARP Club? Nobody remembers. The first
You
rule of
witnessed this here
AARP
first,
Club.
folks, and it's his.
AARP.
The second,
I don't know, what
the
happened?
second rule of AARP.
Don't
Whatever
poop your
that
pants.
first rule was.
Only one pudding per person.
The bird the nurse is stealing from me.
I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
It fits
You're
my
actually
act.
writing on the show? This is,
Yeah.
We actually
This
wrote
is
it.
fan-
It
this
only
is-
took how many episodes? We actually wrote a joke.
This is fantastic.
he just wrote
Yeah.
R-A-R-R-R.
AARP. Erp.
All right, so wait,
It's
you dying?
retired people, not
No, I'm not dying. I just have. I got some an ongoing issue I have to take care of. That's all. I have to live a little bit better. I got to give up this stuff, and I I got to lose some weight, do a little exercise, and
Do they feel they can fix it with meds?
and have like a heart surgery where they take your ribs and
Can we watch this? Throw like Junior Mints?
it's like Aliens.
Now that's an episode you want to tune in for.
You know, my cardiologist is very cool. I bet you he would allow that. I bet you if I said, hey, look, I got a podcast. We do this thing on the web. Come on. Can we do it? Come on. I have a couple of my friends.
Doctors love being filmed when they can be sued.
Hey, you remember?
Almost as much as police officers.
He might be a Bob Nelson fan. I don't know. You never know. The guy could be a Bob Nelson fan. Sure.
Maybe he'll let Bob Nelson.
Let Bob do.
It's excellent.
It's excellent. Yeah. So let's talk about Cosby.
Okay.
So I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Hannibal Buress, who is a very popular hot comedian right now.
He's funny as heck.
Is he funny?
Oh, yeah. I like him a lot.
I have never seen. I think I saw him live once, but I don't remember.
He was actually Jones Beach live this past summer.
He was part of that thing.
He was. He killed.
What makes him so special?
Well, he says funny things. What do you mean?
Well, I didn't think he was that funny when he talked about Cosby.
He was
basically calls
he was
Cosby
going
a
after
rapist.
Cosby, a rapist, yeah.
The only thing he said funny which was kind of funny. Hannibal says, if you Google it, Cosby rapist, it comes up with more hits than if you Google Hannibal Buress, which I thought was funny. It's true.
Wow.
Because it's true. Because he was saying, hey, look, but don't take my word for it. But Cosby, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. You know, he's getting. They smell blood, and now he did a stupid
Why is he
thing.
in trouble? This has been. I remember this when I was a kid.
From a kid?
Yeah, my grandma but she was really anti-Cosby for various reasons. Don't pretend to be a doctor on TV. That was her thing.
Well, he actually is a doctor. He has a doctorate.
Now,
He is a
not-
doctor.
no.
No, he had one then too.
He has a doctorate in phys ed from what's it?
So he could teach gym classes. Great.
Yeah. Oh, he's still a doctor.
But I mean, I remember hearing this a long time ago. And it wasn't like a secret, you know. So
Well, I think one. He's a world famous celebrity, and I've had occasion to spend time with celebrities who are not even famous.
And he's getting a sitcom again. NBC's bringing him back.
Women throw themselves at guys like that every day, all day long.
And then there is a turn of.
And then there's whatever actually happens. There are conniving people, as we all know.
They want money. That's all
They
want
want
the
money, and I would imagine that it's possible that some of these women that are making these accusations are in that category. I'm not saying they are, because I don't know. But it's like now we've got this. I think he's being attacked because of his other views. To be honest, he's been very outspoken about the
Robot problem.
black community.
Well,
You have to realize he was part of he literally was part of the civil rights movement in the 60s and took it and actually walked the walk with it for years. In the 70s, I remember he was so pro-education, so pro-equality, but he didn't make it like, oh, beat it over your heads, like we need 40 acres and a mule. Yeah. He said, we're going to be...
He also didn't he buy the
he said,
Little
we're all
Rascals?
equal.
He bought the Little Rascals because he
That's
thought
He did buy the Little Rascals.
So they wouldn't show. No, I think he really did it.
He did buy the Little Rascals.
Yeah, and he didn't want to.
He kept them off the air for a while.
He's the reason I got into comedy. He was and still is one of the most brilliant comedians out there. The way he can tell stories.
But he's not a liberal pinko like you.
Well,
he is more a realist.
He's more dark colored than pink. I'm pink. What? Really? Come on. That was for your birthday.
That's disgusting if I think about it. Because there's nothing pink about you, pal. Except certain areas, I would imagine. Now,
stop thinking about my certain areas, you pervert. It's because you're mentioning your heart.
So anyway, Mr. Cosby makes this huge mistake, or the people that handle Cosby, because I'm sure he's not doing Twitter. He's got to be like, what, 75?
Oh, he's in his 80s.
No, he's older than that.
He's older than that. He's almost 80.
No, in his 80s.
He's in his 80s.
We saw him a couple years. No, you guys didn't go with me. I saw him a couple
I've
years
seen
ago.
him like 7 times. Amazing.
Really? It's like, you know what it was like? I didn't think it was that funny. I was like dying and laughing. He tells great stories. It was like seeing your uncle that you have like at Christmas time. It was like so likable. The guy was just so likable.
I saw
So-
the Radio City Musical 20 years ago. It was awesome.
So I think a lot of younger people who are trying to fix the world. Have you noticed these people? The
Yeah.
people from
I'm
ages.
not one of them.
The quarter life people, the 25 and under people.
They're trying to fix the
They're
world.
trying to fix the world.
How?
What,
By
a
texting?
hashtag social warriors? You talking about?
Yeah, something like
From their
that.
bedrooms, they're trying to do
Hash activists?
hashtag
Hacktivists? What a hack.
hacktivists.
Hacktivists.
Or whatever.
Bravo. That's a,
Whatever.
write that one.
Oh, I
down.
didn't. That's not it.
Oh, it's not yours?
No, that's
Hack.
activist.
So Cosby creates this little piece of software that takes a picture of him and allows you to put little slogans or sayings, like,
Oh, man,
I
what
like
is that
Put
called?
Pops.
Yeah.
It's a meme. It's called a meme generator.
I thought it was a meme.
And wouldn't you know it, all these hacktivists, 20-somethings, they hijacked his meme generator, and it's thousands and thousands of rape memes.
He's
So
a
they should have
brilliant
sent
guy.
John Connor back like that.
How could he have not seen that coming?
It wasn't him.
It wasn't Dave.
I can tell you, it's not him. He's not sitting there
He's
going, I'm going to
too
make a
smart.
meme
No,
generator.
No,
My
no,
point
it's-
is, how could he not see that people were going to do this?
I don't think it was him. I think he would be way too smart to do that. I think it was somebody who was handling him.
Okay.
Figured this was the last
It's
ditch
probably
Hail
because he's
Mary.
getting a new show on NBC.
Hey man, wouldn't this be cool? We could take really classic pictures of
This is
you
the way to change
and have
things.
people put. Then they'll be interested in you.
Oh,
It'll
Make
sell
fun of
more
jello
tickets.
pudding. They're gonna
It'll
call
sell
that cool
tickets.
show.
This
Right.
is brilliant. Let's go have a macchiato because this is so good.
Right, so it backfired on
I'm
him.
buying.
Will it stick to him? I don't think so. I think there's no way at this point his legacy
love
will
him
be
too
this. He's too world famous. Look at Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
You could see it from here.
That guy did some really pretend. They accused him of doing horrific things, and everyone loves him.
Pubes and Pepsi.
I listened to the. Did you see the record? Did you hear the record that came out?
The new record?
Yeah, I think he wrote it with Paul Anka or somebody, and Paul Anka got all the.
Actually, she took back
So
this.
few original parts. I'm surprised he could die.
Your car has.
So anyway, we were talking about Bill Cosby, his reputation, the memes generator issue that will not be an issue 2 weeks from now. No one will remember about it. But we were saying look at how many people love Michael Jackson worldwide. He's still one of the most popular stars in the world 5 years after he's been dead, 15 years after he's been acquitted of child molestation charges.
He just said he has
child
autism.
molester. He was a child molester they accused him of.
Oh, my
He just came out as having autism. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Okay.
On to another topic. Artie Lang.
You're just hitting all the hot points.
This is what's happening. I happen to read the comedy section of the Huffington Post, and these are the things that are on it.
The HuffPo's, we cool.
HuffPo.
Hashtag Huff.
HuffPo. I call it
Don't give
Huffing.
it a hashtag.
I call it the Huffing Glue Post.
No gang signs in the podcast.
That was a hashtag sign.
Yeah.
The Huffing Glue Post. That's what I got. I have friends who write for the Huffington Post.
Cool. Can I touch you?
Vicky Cooperman. She writes for it. My friend had Vicky Cooperman. She's a bit of she's a little left
Did
of
she
me.
want you to
She's
mention
my
that?
friend.
We did
Sure.
enough of this lefty
Friends.
pinko stuff.
She's a great gal. She's a very funny gal. She's going to be out here on
You guys
January.
make me feel awkward being in the middle of the road, solid, parallel line guy.
Yeah, that's you. Okay. So Artie says these awful things that probably in private amongst his friends would have been amazingly funny.
Or on stage in front.
Anyway, Artie Lang. I love Artie Lang.
14.4K moto stinks.
I have met. I've met Artie Lang.
Someone's got to feed the squirrel next time before we do go to the air.
Artie Lang is a very, very funny guy in person. I've seen him perform several times and got a chance to meet him. Seems like the nicest guy ever. I met his family, very nice people. He's just Artie. That's Artie. Now, did he go too far? I don't know.
Not exactly these. You know what?
I don't want to say.
actually see what he put,
well, here's
so-
what he said. I mean, you didn't see? Here's
He
what he
dance around it. He didn't. Yeah.
He said something about Aaron Coulter.
No, not Aaron Clark. It was an African American sportscaster.
Yes.
On ESPN.
And he basically made references.
right?
Female, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
He made some references to a very dark time in African American history.
Oh my God.
In the South, and what he would do is as an owner. It was
talking
out
He
there.
basically did a parody of a Quentin Tarantino movie. Okay,
Set in the
no.
antebellum
which is basically,
South.
but actually it was very gross sexually,
Yeah.
and I think that was the thing. It wasn't necessarily that it was, it was racist in a way.
There was certain.
And race was a factor in what he was saying, but it was
He
more.
would have gotten away with it if he said it in person.
Yeah,
If he had done it on
if he had done it at a roast.
You know what? I always think it's
Yeah.
people's imaginations. Text, anything in text space, you hear it in the voice you want in your head, not
Exactly.
the voice of the author. And that's then your imagination runs
Exactly.
wild. That's why the printed word should be eliminated.
Well, when he
it's
when you-
causing so many problems.
When you text me, I hear Doris Day. I don't know what that's about, but that's because you look. I guess you look like
That's right.
her. When she was
Because I
older,
wore
she had a
that
beard.
wig.
Well, no, you had the beard. You had a beard like that.
There you go.
I don't know what.
Tribute to Kathy Bates. And
It's
her
her legs, though.
Baltimore accent.
So apparently, Audie has survived this because nobody's talking about
Not
it
yet,
anymore.
Except us.
He did get kicked off of something. This show called At Midnight.
Yeah, at midnight. He was.
What's that about? I don't even know. I don't know what's At
Does it
Midnight.
go on TV at midnight? I think that pretty much sums
It's
it
a
up.
show on Comedy Central where they comment about hashtags and videos, and then you got to come up with the best comment for whatever they show, and then they throw up hashtags that
It's
you
live?
got to comment on. It's I
Wow,
don't know.
my
I
head
don't think
hurts.
it's live. It's daily.
I think
It
no. I
might
think
be
I
on
think the
in
midnight one is
afternoon.
live.
Is it?
Who's
Yeah.
hosting it?
Chris
guy.
Hardwick. He was like the.
Oh, I know who Chris Hardwick is.
Okay.
He doesn't look like a 16-year-old.
Is Chris Hardwick a stand-up? Is he a stand-up?
Yes, he's actually one of the hottest people on the internet. He has Nerdist. You ever heard? These are all
I
what
know
you should be
he's an
aspiring
actor
to.
too.
Yeah. He was the host of Singled Out back in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he's
Oh
been
my
around
God,
forever,
really?
right? Yeah,
Jeez Louise.
he's been around forever.
Bill Cosby getting a show again was something. That's a more impressive.
Chris Hardwick is on. He does the post show for Walking Dead. He used to do.
I would like that. I would like a TV show.
There you go.
You have one.
I would like a real TV show on
This
Comedy
isn't real?
Central. I would.
This is news to me.
You know why?
What would the Rob Zombie show
because
be
one,
like?
for one, they give me money, and then two, the
Like,
girls would
that's
be.
money.
I'd have Cosby problems because the girls would be throwing themselves at me,
If you had a TV show, you'd have the health insurance to get a new heart.
and I'd have the health insurance to get a heart transplant, which you need, which
Someone
Dan
turn
can't give me.
of him
I
to
can't
a
believe
man
Dan
over-
McCarthy won't give me his heart. Dan McCarthy.
I kind of need it.
Everyone thinks he's such a nice guy, but yeah, when
Yeah.
push comes to shove.
You're an Indian giver.
He
Give
is,
an Indian and
he
give
is the Green Goblin to my Spider-Man.
I don't need a heart transplant. Relax, relax. Everyone's watching,
It's a brain he needs.
all worried about it. So this At Midnight is a hot show.
Yeah.
Because I see sometimes on the Twitter, I see people going at midnight.
Well, at the end of the show, I think they yell out a hashtag and make comments, and people do it all night throughout the day, and it's mentioned the next day.
I
next
see.
Show.
And whoever have you ever done that? Have you ever put an at
Yeah.
midnight?
No, I think it was like worst Star Wars names because the new name of the next Star Wars movie came out.
A
so
Force Arises or something?
yeah, something like that. So they're like
That
the
sounds like
worst
a
name.
personal problem.
Sounds like
It
a
does,
Jedi
doesn't it? Everyone's kind of going right there for that.
Yeah,
But
so everyone's like, oh, hashtag what do you think would be the worst Star Wars name? They do, yeah, things like that.
well, okay. So anyway, why did I bring it up?
Artie Lang was
Artie
supposed to be on
Lang.
this.
Oh,
pulled this episode.
they pulled this episode. Now, would he have just sat there with Chris Hardwick? And
No, it's like a game show with three comedians, where the three comedians compete amongst each other to have the best comments.
that was my idea.
It was.
They stole it. Those
Those
hacks.
bastards.
Hashtag thieves.
Anyway,
What'd
So-
you do with that
It's a
show?
mahjong tournament started.
Artie Lang is okay now. I would think he's going to be okay.
Then now.
He has been banned from ESPN forever.
Artie
He
has?
used to do a commentary.
And
Right?
yeah, Artie's a big sports fan and a degenerate gambler by his own admission. He knows.
Did he go in trouble? He was on a show once called Tony Romo, Tony Homo.
Yeah, something like that.
Because no one ever thought it.
Yeah.
Because he's a Giants fan.
How
Right?
dare he? Oh, speaking of which, my friend, not my friend, I haven't seen him in years, but oh, here we go
Oh,
again.
meow. Yeah, meow. Meow. Answer.
Meow. Meow.
So Jay Nog's got this viral video that's based on the catcalling viral video where he plays a Jets fan. He's wearing a big Jets shirt and a Jets hat, and he's walking through the city, and people are yelling out comments at him.
And that offended a lot.
Yeah.
So Jay Nog's got this viral video that's based on the catcalling viral video where he plays a Jets fan. He's wearing a big Jets shirt and a Jets hat, and he's walking through the city, and people are yelling out comments at him.
And that offended a lot of the Jets fans.
I would imagine it's kind of funny.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. We're still alive. We won a game.
But like in a day, he got 500,000 hits. I'd watch him turn this into. He'll be the Jets fan on the Jets pre-show now.
Yeah.
Watch him turn that into something.
That'll be
Good luck, Jay.
It's happened.
Yeah, of course it has happened. He's actually pretty good. He's a good-looking guy, and he's very funny.
Wait, then he's not a real Jets fan.
Does he have an alcohol problem?
No.
Does he park in the parking lot at 3 a.m. just to get a good spot to barbecue weenies?
No.
No? Then he's not a real Jets fan.
Only
No.
Jets fans do that.
I don't think he is a Jets fan at all. But
No?
He's,
That's even more offensive.
Poser.
I don't know anything
face?
about him. I
Especially
never spent any personal time with the guy.
You guys
Green room
were
time.
friends.
That's the green room time. That's about as personal as it ever got. Now that can get intimate. Let me tell you, if you've ever been in a green room with other comedians, especially when the clothes start coming off, it's very, very, very.
If that ever happens with us, just one of you other guys just shoot me. I'm just saying.
Who was that woman that you
you're in
worked with
the
on
green room?
Saturday? What was her name?
I forgot her name.
He forgot your name.
She was
Remember
very
that?
funny.
You were very funny, but he forgot your name.
Let's see if I got her card. Hold on.
What
Call him
about
back. He's pregnant.
what about on the attractive scale? Was she attractive?
She's a mommy.
What does that mean? They can't
She's
be
a very
attractive?
attractive mommy.
Mommies are attractive. I wouldn't mind making. Hey, I used to go around with this guy.
Oh.
He was my friend. He
truth
was like
comes
it's a
out.
long story, but he was like 23 and he hadn't had any. He never had a girlfriend or
old for you,
anything.
huh?
He used to wear
Veronica
Veronica
Mosey.
Mosey. You don't
Veronica
remember
Mosey.
Veronica? Look how hot Veronica is.
She is so funny.
She is super funny. I know Veronica.
See,
She
that's
was
what
awesome.
you do first. You talk about her looks before.
She was awesome. Very nice lady. And Brian McKenna was the other guy that I worked with.
Oh yeah, bro, Brian.
Money guy.
Oh, yeah, right.
I know Brian.
He didn't have a
Another
beard
good
to have,
looking,
but he
another
was-
good looking guy. Maybe if Veronica and Brian took their clothes off, not you.
No, we don't want. No, I want
If
my.
they
last
took their
cup of
clothes
humor.
off in the green room, that would be interesting. I don't know. What was I talking about? Audie Lang.
I don't know. Some
Welcome to ADD Theater, you
23-year-old
squirrel.
boy that used to go around.
Oh yeah, he used to wear. He was so funny because he was rail thin and looked so nerdy, but he would wear a leather jacket and he loved Metallica and like metal and everything. But he never had a girlfriend, right? But whenever he saw a
So
woman,
Wayne and Garth.
whenever he saw a
And that
woman,
boy grew up to be Andre the Giant.
whenever he saw
And
a
now you know the rest.
Whenever he saw a woman holding with a kid, you know, they wouldn't hear it. It'd be they couldn't hear him. He would always say, "Hey, mother, want another?" That was his catch. It's like Fonzie. "Hey, mother, want another?"
That's
Oh.
good.
It was like a freaking beanstalk. He was a very nice guy. I forget what happened. I forget. Al was his name. A nice guy. God knows where he is today. He's probably watching this. My luck. He's watching this. This day, this time, he just tunes in. Me talking about him.
That's serendipity.
Right. So to get back to that catcalling thing, Michael Che, who is a comedian.
No relation to Shea Guevara.
Now you know Michael Che.
I've hung out with him like twice.
Tell us your stories about Michael Che. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
He's just very nice, very encouraging. You know, this was before I even gone up on stage the first time, but I kind of mentioned that I was thinking about it, and so he was very encouraging. He gave me some good advice.
Get away from me.
He's a black guy. The black guy?
Yeah, he's very funny
He actually
too.
does
What
weekend
does that have to
updates
do
now.
with it?
He does weekend up.
Because he
I was
likes-
making
White
sure it's
guy?
the same Michael Che.
Yeah.
SNL. You
Where
know
did this?
that.
Where did this happen? You bet.
Governors.
At Governor's.
Yeah. And
Was he headlining?
yeah.
That
And
guy's headlining. You know, he's only been doing comedy for 5 years.
This was 2 years ago
On
too.
SNL.
That he was headlining.
But why is he so special?
He's hilarious. Like,
Is he?
yeah,
Some people just got it.
What's his comedy like? Is he like just like rambling and
He-
talks
he-
about
he-
different subjects without any rhyme or
yeah,
reason?
he has this one bit that I love that I can't really say on your show, but it's
Okay.
It like kills me every time he does it.
Well, okay then.
But yeah, like the main thing he told me was like you can't learn comedy through osmosis. You can't pick it up just by hanging out with comedians. You actually have to go out and do it. So
And steal from others.
I think he's wrong, but yeah, I guess so.
yeah, he's very nice.
Take punchlines from lesser known
So you met him at the bar, or you met
Yeah.
him at the bar? Kind of hung out with him at the bar, right?
Bar.
This is your Joe Star days when you met him?
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe Star
Those
days.
days ended?
we don't really talk that much anymore.
No.
Nobody talks to Joe. Joe's disappeared. Joe's off the radar.
I just texted him yesterday.
He's doing Gotham, the TV show.
Yeah,
He's the corrupt cop on Gotham.
Oh, he's the one.
He's that one corrupt
I went
cop.
to visit him.
The one corrupt
He
cop.
really is in character. I went to go visit him. He pulled me over. I mean, that's ridiculous.
He might have been outside of his jurisdiction.
He held up a Chianti bottle top. I was like, what the hell is
Really?
that? Yeah.
I love Joe Star. Joe
love
Star's a
him.
very talented
I would
man.
not
Wow.
know any of you if not for him.
Damn
Thanks,
you,
Joe.
Joe Star, you son of a Puerto Rican bastard. What the hell? You left something.
You are patient zero.
Tell us how you got that restraining order. How does it work?
You are our Ebola.
You're a jerk.
Quarantine,
We have a 21-day quarantine. If you don't tell a hack joke, you're okay.
Right, so we're not going to say the word, okay? We're not going to say the word because on comedians writing jokes,
Wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry.
this word
Let's
is
come
still
up with a
not
different
legal.
word. Let's use the
but
word
apparently, comedian Amy Schumer, who's very attractive, has convinced Comedy Central not to bleep the word
That starts with the P.
P asterisk 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 Y.
Pralines. The worst flavor
You were right
of them
there.
all.
And I guess
You scored a 6
I guess
on
you're
your
allowed to
SATs,
talk
didn't you?
about it. How did Carlin do it? Carlin said you're allowed to talk about it if it's a cat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what? He said he has something that he talks about. Not the original
Not anymore, he's
731, but the other one, the follow-up to it.
Yeah.
He talked about.
So
that
Comedy
when-
Central could say it, but
Can't say it.
television show you do in the Starbucks, you can't say it?
That's correct. Because
You have
I
higher standards
I
than
do.
actual
I have
network
higher standards than cable. Than cable, my friend.
No, it's cable. That's right.
network-
No one watches cable.
We're like
anymore.
Hebrew National. We answer to a higher calling.
There you go.
I do. I do. People have a problem with it. I'm sorry. It's my show. I
You just
can do
wipe your
whatever
nose
I
at that.
want.
Get that away from
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, just toss it where.
So it's all
That's
over
not
the
an
internet
flash.
that she smashed through this glass ceiling of P asterisk 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 Y.
But after midnight, don't they allow cursing now anyway?
Yeah. You could always curse on cable. They're restricted by their own advertising, which I'm sure is what's the problem with your advertisers. But after a certain hour, it's kind of relaxed. I mean, the people that are watching Comedy Central at midnight.
You want a
Yeah,
news story?
that's the show.
Have during a big conference about public national security, have Chuck Schumer use that word. Then we've got a story.
You know, you
Schumer
just,
jokes.
you just
Yeah,
informed me,
cool.
and maybe Tim can confirm this. But you just informed me that that Amy Schumer is in some way related to
Chuck Schumer.
Senator Chuck Schumer from New York. Is that true?
That's what I was told. That's what.
Have you ever heard that?
I mean, she's a Schumer, and they're both from New York. I mean,
The odds are in their favor.
There's a chance. I never heard that. I don't know.
They have
That's
the
what
same
Veronica
No, she
Mosey
looks-
told me. That's
but
what
she
she
looks.
told me
She
the
looks
other night.
very. She looks very Irish looking.
No, she ain't Irish.
That's a fellow he. If I
or,
was
or German looking.
She might be. They left Germany for some reason. But
there was a mass exodus around 45.
yeah.
I
It's probably a
heard it was-
Wi-Fi problem.
I heard it was a
It's the Wi-Fi?
Travelocity deal. I don't know. Maybe
It was
that's
the
what
Wi-Fi wasn't good
Yeah.
enough.
They
Yeah.
said, oh, because it was cheaper. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
That's messed up.
They had to use a couple of layovers, but they made it. Yeah.
We have to use our miles now? But I don't know. I don't know if they're
They all made it through steerage, though.
No. So what I'm curious about is, yes, they were able to do it after midnight, but now what does that mean? That they'll be doing it in prime time? Will they be doing it during
Yes.
the day?
I don't think the
Probably not
Will
during
they be
the day.
doing it?
Not during the day.
Will preschools have the Comedy Central on TV while the kids are playing, and suddenly they'll have to explain
Well, that's the way I was
why
brought up.
she's talking about her cat?
Well, why,
Tell me.
why are kids watching Comedy Central? It doesn't skew them. It's not entertaining to them.
In a related story, Petco announces hat sales through the roof.
It
Named
actually
Amy.
calms them down.
It does?
Yes,
What, to pet the cat?
because it's not very funny.
No.
Although South Park, that's funny stuff. You know,
South Park
this,
says it.
yeah, but they don't say it during prime time, do they?
Oh, now we're gonna.
It's like
Now it's
10
okay for you to
o'clock.
bring up a show, huh?
What was the word that they did where they did? Oh, they did
S,
that?
the S
the
word.
S
The S word.
And they
Where
ding,
did
they
a
had
counter.
a running
Yeah.
countdown.
And that was first said on ABC at Disney. And,
Yeah.
The first curse I ever remember was the final episode of MASH, when Hawkeye called the psychologist an SOB.
But that's
You just said SOB? Or is
Well,
that-
no, he said the actual word.
But that's the action. But you know what? That's like 1985,
82.
or maybe 83.
Tell me.
But that was cable was already taking hold. HBO, I remember in 1980 getting HBO.
HBO doesn't have advertisers to listen to. It's all paid. So
Yeah, I
they
know,
do
but
whatever they want.
before that, it was
Damn
so...
you!
Goddamn.
Goddamn. Oh, what are you going to say that for? It's
No,
in the
well,
Bible.
well, apparently that was a big deal in the 1930s in the film when they did
Frank
Gone with the
Lemonade.
Gone with the Wind. That was a big deal, and then actually TV wouldn't allow them to. They would warn people there's going to be strong language. They would.
That's scary.
They would. Now, did you see this last night? The girl on Fox, the blonde chick.
Yeah, narrows it down.
You know the stupid one. The
You
one
know,
that-
she's cute.
Kelly Bundy.
She's
Gotcha.
cute. She's cute. She had Huckabee on,
Oh, of course.
Oh my
And she-
God, that's filthy.
and she called the Huckabee. He hosts the FB show. She said the F word
Wow.
when she called his show after his name.
Yeah. Keep it classy,
I know.
Fox. Keep it classy.
I'll bet that's the name of the show between the anchors on Fox. I'll bet he's not a popular guy on Fox.
He isn't?
No,
Why?
because he's not an insider. He's a politician.
They're
Same
just
with
idiots.
Greta. Nobody likes Greta off camera.
Because she looks like some kind of stone creature come to life. Mouth barely mad.
My, my grandmother's on Fox News.
Sacrifice.
Could you
your
imagine?
virgins.
She's literally had $500,000 worth of plastic surgery, and that's as good as they could get her to look.
Right.
That was she got taken for like.
Imagine what she used to
$499,000.
look like. No, what she used to look like was gruesome. She was gruesome.
She looked like Dan with tits.
She looked like
I'm sorry.
She looked like a
Oh, I can't say
prosecuting
that.
attorney.
No, bleep that.
Bleep,
Bleep that.
bleep.
Bleep.
Boobs.
Yeah, I should have said the word Dan.
You're going to ruin the
Prosecuting
internet. Very nice.
So
Like you can't curse in an orgy. You know what I mean?
since we got on,
Get clean, get clean.
that would be an awesome orgy, wouldn't it?
Very silent.
No cursing.
What, right here between the four of us? Sorry, that happened.
No.
Somebody came up with porn. I think there is
Light porn?
light porn.
Gosh darn it. I enjoy what's happening here. Thank you, miss.
Well, that was
I tip my hat to you.
that was truly delightful.
Oh goodness. Yes.
My goodness, what a mess.
Instead
So
of
get the towel.
instead of a pizza delivery, it's a vegan meal.
So since we were talking about his breasts, let's bring up Dan. Today's Dan's birthday. Let's hear it for Dan. Happy birthday, Dan. I'm not
Thank
going
you,
to sing
sir.
happy
And
birthday.
we are the best
to
he
you.
could do.
How old are you now?
Don't answer that.
I'm old enough so that my hair is thin to the point where I get sunburned, but I can't put sunblock on there.
Oh, just say a number.
I'm 36.
Bravo.
36 is
Hey.
That's a great age. That's about midlife.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to the back nine.
I'm 4 years away from paying a doctor to put his finger where a doctor shouldn't put his finger.
Unless you're a puppet.
Have you ever had that?
No,
I have.
I'm sorry.
I had this weird doctor when I was like 28.
Uh-huh.
He felt it
You worked
necessary.
out of a van behind the supermarket.
Yeah.
The funny thing was he was a dentist. Hey!
Honestly, I went.
That's
He said to me, "Bend over." I went, "Why?" He said, "I want to do a prostate examination." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because just because."
That's not a
And
good
I was
reason.
dumb enough to say yes, and I'll tell you, I never felt anything like that before.
No.
Or since.
You should have known when they had Funny Girl playing in the background that something was wrong.
He was a weird guy. He was in Islip. Don't ever go there. If there's a doctor in Islip, don't go. Got a doctor's appointment in Islip. Do not go. So it's Dan's birthday. I want to thank Dan for his service to his country.
I didn't.
Because it's also Veterans Day. It's Dan's birthday and Veterans Day.
He's on the front
today.
lines of selling stuff to people.
Yeah.
Can't all be gold.
Retail.
As you know,
I'm 36. I work retail and I live with my dad. I'm doing real well.
Stop
for myself.
selling yourself.
Stop.
My
Ladies,
man.
send your address to RobChoppy.com.
Put a little
And
show.
where you hide your keys.
Put a little show in that business, pal. Okay?
All right.
Sell yourself. He's right.
You drive a hot car?
Got a hot car, man. You got
Got a nice
a
car.
Mercedes. He's got a little red Mercedes sports car.
I can't deny that.
He rolls around like a white prince. No,
They don't get much whiter than me.
but there you go.
I'm like two shades from albino.
more
I'm not
more
saying he's very
delusional.
white, but we use him to set the tone on a video camera.
I'm not saying he's so white, but
How white is he?
his vote counts twice.
Wow!
He's so white he didn't need an ID at the last election. I'm
We
saying
have
it's-
to go.
Oh,
We
man.
have to go there every time.
Oh man.
So, what does it feel like getting another year older, Dan?
Well, I'm alive, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
I'm,
that's a
I'm,
start.
I'm relatively healthy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
physically.
The man needs a couch.
How do you feel about where you are today with your life? How do you feel about yourself?
Oh, this is getting deep.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm 36. I live with Dad, and I work retail.
So there are worse things to be.
This is why we don't let him take bridges when he goes home.
How do you feel?
Sits there in the ferry.
How do
on
you
the
feel
railing
about?
like
How do you feel about
Spalding Gray.
about your future? Do you feel you have a future, or is there? Should
More
I
so.
call Dr. Derek Humphrey to come in and help you?
Well, after your diagnosis, he's probably got a better future than you.
Probably does. This is true. Very, very true.
I feel like I have a better one now than I would say I did like 5 years ago.
Okay. Well, you have a social life.
I
Certainly
do
today.
which I didn't have
We
5
all
years
like
ago.
you as we all love you coming to our
Oh.
shows. We all like you as a guy.
Ah.
We've done social things now. We did the wedding. We did the wedding. We had lunch once. That was
fun.
awkward. Yeah, but that worked out. Okay.
I usually am around when his car dies.
Yes.
So I usually pick him up in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
But you're an all right guy. And,
Thank you.
I think
He's
I
more
can
than
speak,
all right. He's
I
an
can think
extra big chip of okay.
I can speak for a lot of comedians who will say they
gonna
like
make me
you and
cry.
appreciate you. Don't cry. You cried at Tony Landolfi's engagement party. You cried at his wedding. You cried at Joe Starr's last time you headlined. Why do you keep crying?
He's an emotional person. Leave
starting to cry
leave
now.
my little boy alone. Stop. You're
You
bullying
need to go into acting because you can cry on cue. That's a big
problem.
No, there's a
with the
difference
community.
between crying on cue and crying all the
Because we
time.
celebrate the one band we have. Every other group, it's different. The bands come together to celebrate the entertainer. This is we come to celebrate the one guy.
You heard of One Direction? We got one follower.
This is
Impressed
the. There's a great episode for me to recreate an episode. Tenacious D, where they find out they got a fan. You ever see this? They find out they have a fan, and the guy's kind of like, they think he's kind of crazy and whatever. So the guy, and he's kind of like interested. He knows all their lyrics and everything. Coach shows up at every show, and suddenly disappears. And then the two of them, all they can do is go after him. That's all they care about. They're totally focused. Where'd he go? And they start harassing him, showing up at his house. That would be us, Dan. If you disappeared, we'd all be showing up looking for you.
Jokes.
In all seriousness, the Long Island comedy community in general is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Really?
Just all you collectively are the best thing that ever happened
Let's
to me.
make a point of let's make a point to
Stick together.
to point out that you don't live on Long Island.
No, I live in Connecticut.
You live in Connecticut, so you made it your mission to infiltrate the comedy community here. Is there a comedy community in Connecticut?
Yeah, there is. No, there is.
3 C's. Comedy community in Connecticut. It's tough to say.
There is.
There is.
There is. You know.
But they're not us.
I know there's one in New Jersey. Well, New Jersey's a big state. There's a lot of mileage you would put on your car if you tried to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Staten Island has a big comedy community.
New Jersey is great, but I like making left turns.
Oh, hey, see what he did there?
You can't make left turns at all in New Jersey?
It's very difficult. That's why there's no NASCAR drivers in New Jersey.
They're all Republicans.
So what did you expect being on the show today, being your birthday? Because you asked me to be on the show a month ago.
Yeah.
Was there something that I should have done that I haven't done?
No.
that you're disappointed?
Usually I don't do anything on my birthday. Like I just lay in bed and like respond to Facebook postings on my birthday.
Is that what you call
Shut
it?
up.
Lubricating it with your tears.
You call it responding to Facebook posts. Okay.
Kleenex people are going to send a note.
And
Where are
you know,
you?
my dad will sometimes,
Knock on
have
the
a
door
cake.
and say, "What are you doing in there so long?"
Yeah. Stay down there. Respect the necktie on the door. Okay.
Give them a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Christmas.
So you don't do anything on your birthday. You did something today for yourself. You're going to go out. It's a nice sunny day. You're going to go to the park or something?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the beach.
He's going to walk himself on the beach. He'll throw himself a stink. He's got a tennis ball in the car. He's going to throw it. He's going to catch it.
He's going to read that book you mentioned at the beginning of the show.
He's going to lay down and rub himself on the belly. Who's a good boy? I'm a good boy.
That's a good boy.
I love a good belly rub. What can I say?
Ladies.
So we are appreciative of you and thank you again for coming. And
Thank
we
you
had
for
a
having
great
me.
time when you shared all your tattoo of Jay Leno's logo. And Jay Leno's in the news too.
Yep.
Jay Leno's in the news. Mark Maron, famous podcaster Mark Maron, made some comments about Jay Leno this week, saying that he felt he was a very isolated man.
Yeah.
Did you see this, Mark Maron? You know Mark Maron.
I know he is.
Said that Mark Maron was on the Tonight Show right before Jay entered his run, because he had never been on before. He was a Letterman guy, which is true. He's been on Letterman probably more than anybody except Jake Johansson. And he said that Leno came into the dressing room and he thought he was just going to say hi, but he talked for about a half an hour. And he tried to connect with him as a comedian. And what Maron was going through Maron's mind is, and this is a lot of comedians say this about Leno. Leno used to be the comedian's comedian. He was the greatest stand-up ever. And I'll tell you, I know, Bob and a lot of people from that era. He used to be in New York in the 80s here all the time. They said he was a phenomenal comedian, phenomenal stand-up comedian.
I love his stand-up.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians feel, though, and this is Bill Hicks did this. Sorry. Bill Hicks has got a famous bit about him doing Doritos commercials, where they say, "Jay, you sold your soul. You sold out, and that you don't do. You did it for the money." And now the guy does stand up every week. Did you know that?
Yeah. At the Comedy and Magic Club.
Yeah,
For the
Hermosa,
door.
right, or whatever. But I saw him do comedy on Jimmy Fallon the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that good.
He may be a little bit
I
rusty.
think the topics were were way too broad.
Does he not have his writers anymore? Is that the problem?
Maybe that might be it.
That could be it.
Here's the thing. I used to go see him all the time.
Yeah.
I don't really that much anymore because he's been doing the same bit for like 30 years. You know?
Oh, is
Like-
that what he? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, like I know.
Well,
he's-
I know comics that do the same stuff, and I love
Yeah,
seeing
but
that.
for 30 years though.
Well, yeah, it's because he's lived that long. If he lives to be 40 years in the business, he'll be doing
Jealous?
the same stuff. Yeah, jealous.
No,
Why don't
he's
you
been
just
in the
sit
business
there and
40
live
years.
off his royalties from Collision Course.
Wow.
Man, good reference, man.
I can quote lines from that movie.
Of course you can. You sit in your room crying.
What movie was he in?
Collision Course. It was him and Pat Morita. It was a buddy cop movie.
Did Rush Hour rip them off? you
Totally.
think? Absolutely.
Totally.
I know idea what they're talking about.
It was an 80s movie where they were buddy cops.
I was alive in the 80s. I remember the 80s.
No,
Starts
I
off with
actually
Jay Leno
worked out.
driving
I
an
worked
awesome
out.
We haven't
car.
got one.
I worked out parallels
What
between those two movies, like all the
You
similarities.
have a chart.
I
Changed
did.
his mind, I'm sure.
I did have a chart.
Ed Harris used to stand next to him in a suit, like, yes, you're on it, Dan. You got it, Dan.
Yeah,
His book. Did you ever read his
You're almost
book,
there.
Leading with My Chin?
of course I read that.
Oh my God, that last page of the book, I was crying.
Of course.
Crying.
Yep.
Were you crying, Dan?
Well, of course he was.
I wasn't as emotional back
Turn the
then.
pages.
I've become like a total mush within the past like 10 years.
Stuck together for us to cry.
Oh my God.
That's because he really likes Jay
He
Leno.
really loves Jay Leno.
I was so dehydrated after that book.
Why does this book smell like bleach?
Whoa! Wow!
And we still can't say the B word.
I don't even know what that means.
Wow! Wow!
All right, well, we're
I said it
coming.
without saying it. That's the art of comedy.
Is there a public pool in here? What's going on?
We're coming to the end of the show,
Wow!
and I just want to thank.
I'm fine.
I want to thank all my guests, and I know we haven't been on in a while. We've been off the air for 5 episodes in a row. This is episode 21, by the way.
Woo! The Phantom Menace.
The lucky episode. Roll that 21.
Woohoo!
Or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a gambler. I don't know. I'm very happy to be part of this, and I want to thank again Bob Nelson. And today my guests have been JJay Boyd, Tim Thompson,
Yes.
Dan McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't think we had any viewers. Right now it's telling me we have no viewers. We haven't had any viewers
Who needs
today.
it? We're having fun.
Yeah.
We're having fun. And
I had a
the
blast.
decibel level is probably 110 in here. I can't even hear myself.
It's my best birthday ever.
The 1938
It's your
Latvian
best birthday
soccer
ever?
team is
Best
having a
birthday
reunion.
ever.
Didn't you ever have a pizza
I'm so
party when you were a
scared.
kid?
No,
I was
a shut-in until I was 31 years old.
until he discovered he could get close to Jay Leno. Suddenly he became shut out. He became, hey, let's go find Jay Leno. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Hey, Maris is in Beale. I got the. Is that his wife's name? What was his wife's name?
Mavis.
Mavis. Yeah. Have you ever seen her?
Yes.
Oh, she's trying to get that hotel closed down, right?
Oh yeah.
Protesting. That was the
Yep.
first time I ever saw him in public. They're protesting that hotel.
I thought I took her typing course.
You probably did.
Mavis.
Didn't she repair my tires? All right, we off the air.
Not yet. We're going off the
Oh,
air.
Don't
that
touch
was
him.
still on?
Don't touch him. He could die.
Where are you going to be, Dan? Where could people see you comedy-wise?
November 22nd, Gateway with this guy right here.
Or behind Joe Starr's bushes, whichever.
This Saturday at the MacArthur Airport, we're doing a big fundraiser for Island Harvest and Homes for Heroes. And then December 1st through the 15th, I'll be at the Atlantis, Bahamas. So fly down.
How about you, Danny? Timmy?
Danny.
Danny, Timmy?
Danny.
Timmy?
Maybe hang out with Tony and my teeth. Nowhere I could talk of yet.
He'll be growing
It's
his
the
beard.
only comedian that works less than I do. And I work.
come
I
on.
mean, hey, it's true.
Come on, who says you work?
I don't. Neither does my heart. Hey, maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Who knows? Only God knows. But for the time being, I'll sign off with my signature. See ya. See ya.
Thanks for the
At
fun.
midnight. See ya.